The 6th of July, Earth satellite, the moon, Monday morning, 2026. A brief reading from the common Buddhist text, guidance and insight from the Buddha. Chief editor of this compilation is Dr. Mahadhamma Kosajan, otherwise known as Prat Mahabrahma Pandit. We left off on chapter 10 on the goals of Buddhism from the perspective of the Theravada tradition. We're picking up on the nature of nirvana, or in Pali language is called nibbita, nibbana. These linked passages on nirvana portray it firstly as beyond mind and body and any world. It also beyond the coming and going, normally associated with being reborn, and as the objectless state that is not supported on anything else. Secondly, it is beyond any craving. Thirdly, it is something has nothing to do with birth or a way of being. It is not made by karma, and is not conditioned, constructed by volitional constructing activities or anything else. Fourthly, it is an uneducated, tranquil state beyond any craving based, leaning towards any object of attachment. The Blessed One was staying in Savatthi in Jetavana's Grove in Antapindika's monastery. At that time, the Blessed One was instructing the monks, causing them to observe and inspiring, guiding them with a Dhamma talk discourse connected with nirvana. Those monks there were listening to the teaching, paying attention, their minds directed to it, focusing on all their thought on it, and lending their ear. At that time, the Blessed One observed this matter and uttered the following pleas of joy. Bhikkhu, monks, there exists that sphere where there is neither earth, nor water, nor fire, nor wind, neither the sphere of the infinity of space, nor the infinity of consciousness, nor the fear of nothingness, nor the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception, neither the world nor the other world, nor both sun and moon, and their monks, Bhikkhu. I speak neither of coming nor of going, nor of staying nor of falling away, nor of arising in a new rebirth. It is really unsupported, lacking in continued temporal existence and objectiveness. This truly is the end of the painful, dukkha. Difficult to see is that which does not incline to anything due to craving or desire. The truth is not easy to see. They have penetrated into craving, desire, and for them who knows and sees, there is nothing to hold on to or to the desire to grasp onto. Bhikkhu, monks, there exists the not born, not come into being. There exists the not born, not come into being, not made, not constructed. Had there not been the non-born, not come into being, not made, not constructed, there would not be made known here an escape from that which is born, come into being, made and constructed. It is because there is not the born, not come into being, not made and not constructed, that there is made known escape from the born, come into being, made and constructed. There is instability for one who is attached. There is no instability for one who is not attached. When there is no instability, there is no tranquility. When there is no tranquility, there is no leaning due to desire or attachment. When there is no leaning, there is no coming and going. When there is no coming and going, there is no falling away and arising. When there is no falling away and arising, one is neither here nor elsewhere, nor in between the two. This verity is the end of the painful. This passage can be cited from the first and the second and the fourth Nibbana Patti Samyutta Sutras from the Udana 80 through 81. The next passage is from the Mahamalankaya Putra Sutra, Majjhima Nikaya, Volume 1, 435 to 436. Nirvana as deathless and timeless. This passage firstly emphasizes nirvana as which is deathless. Examples are beyond anything to do with birth or death. Secondly, that it is not caused by the path that enables a person to come to realize it. And it is not anything that arises. Hence, it is not something that exists forever in time, but is beyond time and the limitness of temporal conditioned phenomenon. He turns his mind away from those states, the five categories of existence, seen as impermanent, painful, non-self, and directs it towards the deathless element. This is the peaceful. This is the sublime nirvana. Even so, sire, it is possible to point out a path to realization of nirvana. But it is possible to show a cause for the arising of nirvana. For what reason? Due to the unconditionedness of the Dhamma. Venerable Nagasena, is nirvana unconditioned? Yes, sir, nirvana is unconditioned. It is not made of anything. One cannot say of nirvana, sire, that it has arisen, or that it has not arisen, or that it is arisenable, or the past, or the present, or the future, or that is discernible by the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, or the body. If so, Venerable Nagasena, nirvana is something that does not exist. Nirvana is not. Nirvana exists, sire. Nirvana is discernible by the mind. A noble disciple, practicing rightly with a mind that is purified, exalted, straight, without obstruction, without worldly concern, sees nirvana. This passage is cited from the Milinda Panha 270. Nirvana and consciousness. This passage sees the pleasure-seeking involvement of consciousness with the other four aspects of a person as providing a basis or supporting objects for it to flow on to another rebirth. Without attachment to these aspects or even to the very flow of consciousness, it becomes so content and calm that the volitional or karmic activities that normally accompany it ceases, and a person attains nirvana with no consciousness flowing into another rebirth. An interesting feature of this passage is that this liberated kind of consciousness is said to be unsupported and without an object, just as nirvana itself is. Involved with material form, rupa, bhikkhu, monks, a persisting consciousness would persist. With material form as object or basis, with material form as support, with devotion to pleasure, it would come to growth, increase, and abundance. Involved with feeling, vedana, perception, sanya, volitional activities, sankhara, and abundance, where one is to say bhikkhu monks, apart from rupa, material form, apart from vedana, feeling, apart from sanya, perception, apart from sankhara, volitional activities, I will show forth the coming and going of consciousness, vijnana, or its falling away and rebirth, or the growth, increase, and abundance of consciousness, vijnana, that is not appropriate. If attachment for the element of material form, rupa, bhikkhu, monks, is abandoned by a monk, by that abandonment of attachment, its object is cut off. So the object of awareness is cut off. There is no support for consciousness, vijnana. So also for attachment to the elements of feeling, vedana, perception, sanya, volitional activities, sankhara, and ordinary consciousness, vijnana. That unsupported consciousness, vijnana, has no increase and is without volitional activities. Release. By being released, it is steady. By being steady, it is content. By being content, he is not disturbed. Not being disturbed, he personally attains nirvana, nibbida, or nibbana. This can be cited in the Upaya Sutra, Samyutta Nikaya, Volume 3, 53 to 54. Nirvana and the non-manifestive radiant consciousness. This passage has the Buddha Gautama apparently putting a kind of consciousness in the position normally taken by nirvana. Through the commentary of the passage interprets consciousness, vijnana, in the first line as referring to nirvana as something non-manifestive or invisible, is one of the synonyms for the unconditioned in nirvana. Moreover, the non-manifestive consciousness, vijnana, seems to be equated with the consciousness that has undergone stopping or cessation, nirodha. While the passage talks about the radiant consciousness, vijnana, the passage on the stop consciousness from the Samyutta Nikaya, Volume 2, 102, talks of it as like a beam of light that does not settle on any limited object. The implication of these passages have been much debated by Buddhist scholars, as most Theravadins see all forms of consciousness, vijnana, as anicca, impermanent, and conditioned, which may be the meaning of the Samyutta Nikaya, Volume 3, 25, and thus not nirvana. Consciousness, vijnana, non-manifestive, infinite, completely radiant. Here It is that earth, water, fire, and wind have no footing. Here, long and short, coarse and fine, foul and lovely have no footing. Here, name and form are stopped without remainder. With the stopping of consciousness, vinyan, here, this is stopped. This passage is cited in the Kevata Sutra, Dika Nikaya, Volume 1, 223. We will stop that brief reading this morning there on chapter 10 on the goal of Buddhism, defining nirvana from the perspective of the Theravada tradition, as we pick up on the next one, an Arihat beyond death. A brief reading from the common Buddhist text, guidance and insight from the Buddha. Chief editor of this compilation is Dr. Maha Dhamma Kosachan, otherwise known as Pratmaha Brahma Pandit.